Hey, how's it going, everybody? It is Keith once again with Craps TX. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you don't mind, before we get started, hit that thumbs up for us. Please consider subscribing if you haven't yet. Hit that bell for notifications. That way you'll be notified when the next video comes out. So, I think I'm going to run another two-parter here. It just depends on how we end up after this first one. But this one is a 50 for 1, basically, is what it's called. You can play it on any minimum table from 5 to 15. We're going to start out with $700. I'll go ahead and get this out of the way so I can explain the strategy a little bit. There's 4, 5, 6, 50, 75, and 7. All right, easy enough. At least if I can stack the chips up and get them out of the way. So what this is trying to get all the numbers up to where they pay 50. So what we do is we start out with 132 across. Well, here, let's just run it from the bank. So 132 across, or I'm sorry, 132 inside. There's 100, and we go 30 on the 5 and on the 9, and then 36 on the 6 and 8. Right, 30, 30, 36, 36, 132, I think. 120, 132, yep, it's 132. Okay, so any of these numbers hits, we use, they'll pay $42. Any one of these will pay $42. So we take the 42, let's go ahead and spread that out there. That is 25, 30, 40, and 2. Okay, so out of that 42, you're going to take, sorry, I'm taking my cheat sheet over here. You're going to take 20, I believe. Yeah, take 20 and place the 4 and the 10, or actually you can buy the 4 and the 10 for 20. And let's see, after that, if any box number hits again, you'll win. Again, 42, except for here, you'll win 40. Let's see. We're going to press each bet up by 5. So let's say any one of these hits, just to say 42 again. I don't have enough red, I don't think, but we'll try it out. So any one of those numbers hits, that's another 42. There's 20, 40, and 2. We'll just leave that 2 out from the previous. So you're going to bump each one up by 1 unit. So that is a nickel on each of these, except for on the 6 and 8, you're going to put 6. And now we're at 25, 35, 42. 25, 35, 42, just like that same thing over here. So now we are at that $50 level. Each one of these is going to pay 49 or 50 for 1. Thus the name of the strategy, 50 for 1. So hopefully that was a good enough explanation. If not, let's go ahead and roll it out. That's usually a little bit easier to kind of visualize and let it sink in a little bit. But yeah, $700 bankroll, probably a little bit more really. Probably need closer to $1,300 or $1,400 if you're going to start out with 132. But that's the way I read it, and maybe they were just talking about like a $5 or $10 table. I'm doing this on a 15. Actually, well, we could do it on a 10. Yeah, let's do it on a $10 table. I've only practiced this a couple of times. I think I practiced it on a $10 table. It was last night, so not that you guys know that. I mean, by the time this comes out, it's going to be probably 2 weeks from now. Anyway, so let's just go ahead and get started. We've got our $700 over there, and we'll get us a set of dice. Always like to go for an 8. There's a 5, 3. We're not going to be the shooter on any of these. We're coming out looking for a point. Let a point get set. There is a 314. All right, that's a pretty decent point if we can keep out of the bad stuff, you know. All right, so we're going to put out 132. There's 125. Let's just say 150. We'll throw out 150. Dealer, place me 132 inside. You'll get 18 back. There's your $18 and change. And let's place the 132 inside. There's 100, 30, 35, 35, 30, and then we got to make these 36. So that is our 132. Now we're looking for a hit on any one of those inside numbers. Dice out. There is a 5. All right, so there is a hit. That 30 is going to pay 42. And we're going to pay it in red. There is 20, 40, and 2. Dealer, please buy my 4 and 10 for 20. So there we go. We're now covered on all the numbers, and we'll collect $2. Kind of keep this out of the way. And we're looking for any number now, box number, that is. There is a 516. All right, 36 is going to pay 42 once again. So this is kind of working out just like I showed you guys a second ago for the explanation. We are now going to bump each one, just say dealer, press each box number up by 1 unit. So that's a nickel, $6, $6, a nickel, and a nickel. So we're now at 25, 35, 42, 42, 35, and 25. And then we put $10 back in our rack. Because so now we're at the 50 for 1. If any of these hit, it pays 49 or 50 for 1, except for the 4 and the 10. That'll be $1 vig, and it'll pay 50 straight up. That was a ace deuce, and then now we have a 6-5 yo 11. So see a horn, bet a horn. Sorry, I didn't call that out. And of course, as soon as we get to where we need to be, there's old big red. So first shooter almost got us there. Got us to the edge. One step closer to the edge. But we weren't about to break. All right. Let's get that out of the way. We collect our whole big old $12 over here. And we'll move on to the next shooter. Another set of dice. I like my 8s. There's my 8. And we're coming out looking for a point. 415. All right. 5 will be our new point. Again, we're going to throw out 132. Probably just do it. There's 1, 15, 30, and 2. So 132 even. And get us set up on the inside, 132. So it's 30, 36, 36, and 30. Now, we need one of those inside numbers, please. No. 527 out. That was quick. I'll tell you what, we're going to leave that there, and we'll just buy in. Right now, we're off. Everything is off. The bets are off. Let's go ahead and buy in for 132. We'll just give them 202, and we'll get $70 back. That'll be easy enough. There's 50, 60, 70. All right, so we're in for our 132, and we're running out of money. Let's get us another set of dice, and can't see if we can get one of these to, well, we don't have nothing there. Let's go ahead and just take that boxcar. See if we can't get one shooter to carry us out here a little bit. There's a 617 front line winner, pay the line. There's a 538. 8 will be our new point. Sorry if the camera rocked there a little bit. I hit the edge of the table. And okay, so we're good. So we need one of those inside numbers to hit. 5, 6, 8, or 9, please. There is a 9. All right, 30 is going to pay 42. We'll go ahead and pay it out in red just to make it easier for us. There's 20, 40, and 2. Dealer, please buy my 4 and 10 for 20. So we're going to buy them, pay the vig on the win, and $2 back to the rack. Dice out. 6, 4, 10. There we go. There is our dollar vig. 20. There's our dollar. Dealer asks you to throw him a dollar. And then now that pays 40. Actually, let's do it like this. There is 35, and then I'll pay 5 more. It makes 40. So now we press each number up by 1 unit. That's why I got the change there, those singles. And now each one of these are at a level where they will pay 50 for 1, or yeah, 50 for 1. So 49 or 50 for 1. So we're at 25, 35, 42, 42, 35, and 25. And we got $8 going back to the rack. And dice are out. Let's see what shooter number 3 can do. There's boxcars, 12 midnight. No help, no hurt. Dice out. Whoa, jumpy. All right, 426. There we go. There is our first $50 hit. 42 pays 49 or 50 for one. Dealer asks you to throw him $1. You throw him $1. And you now have $50. And now we're just in collect mode. If we get 3 of these, 617. I was going to say, if we get 3 of these, we'll be in profit. And then we can kind of do what you want to do. But we didn't make it. So let's go ahead and take this down. That was shooter number 3. I think we got enough for shooter number 4. I don't know if we're going to play 2 or have 2 videos in this series if we don't get a little bit of money going here. All right, so that is done. Puck goes off. Let's get us a new set of dice. The blue flash dice today. There is a 628. We'll take that. Oh, let's put our money back up. $50, $55, $58, something like that. Dice out, looking for a point. 2x4, 6. Got the lumber. Now we throw out our 132. There is 100, 25, 30, and 2. Dealer placed me 132 inside. And we'll get that done. There's 100. Remember, we go 30, 36, 36, and 30. There we go, 132 inside. Looking for an inside number, shooter number 4. There is a 325. 30 is going to pay 42. There's 10 or 20 rather, 40 and 2. Dealer placed or buy my 4 and 10 for 20 each. And then we got $2 going back to the rack. Yes, this is kind of a, oh man. 5, 2, 7 out. Yeah, I was going to say this is kind of a risky play. And as you can see, those 7s will kill any strategy whatsoever, unless you're playing the dark side, I guess, or the don't side, whatever you want to call it. But we're just trying to show, different strategies, and we're playing a light side strategy right now. I think we still got enough over there for 132 again, so enough for another shooter. Time-wise, we're doing well on time. There is a 5, 3, 8. We'll take that. Dice are out, looking for a new point. 6, 2, 8. Forgot what shooter we're on. We might be on shooter number 5. Let's throw out 132, 125, 130, and 2. Dealer placed me 132 inside. Dealer. All right, get that set up. Playing at the green chip level. Takes money to make money though, right? So it just depends on your risk tolerance, I guess you could say. Me, I don't know. I think I'd have to have at least about $1,500 to play this. But we bought in with 7. There's a 6, 4, 10. No help, no hurt. Hard 6. There we go. There's a hit. 36 pays 42. So that is the instruction of please buy my 4 and 10, dealer. There we go. They'll give you $2 in change. We'll just keep that there just to show what each shooter makes. Dice out. 2x4, 6. There is another hit on that 6. So that 36 is going to pay 42. And then out of this, we ask the dealer, please press each one of my numbers up by 1 unit. So that's a nickel, $6, $6, a nickel, and a nickel. And we'll get 10 back for our rack. We are now at that 50 for 1 level. Each one of these numbers will pay 49 or 50 for 1, or on the 4 and the 10, it pays 40 for a dollar vig. Dollar commission, whatever you want to call it. What do we do there? There we go. I borrowed one. All right. So, yeah, we can actually place a green chip on those. Make it a little more visually understandable. You can't really see that stack of 5 there. So we're at 25, 35, 42, 42, 35, 25. Dice out. There's a 314. Good deal. $20 for each $20 you got to pay a dollar vig. That's 25. They should just charge you $1. So that is going to pay 50 for that $1 vig, and we are going to collect. Dice out. We're trying to get 3 collects. There is another hard 4, or a 4 rather. So we need a $1 vig to the dealer, and they'll give you 50 for that 25. We're going to collect. There's 4 green for a black. I'm just going to condense that down as we go. Consolidate. 516. That is also at the 50 for 1 level. 42 pays 49. They're going to ask you for a $1. I don't have a $1. Well, I've got a $1 right here. We'll do that. There's a $1, and then they'll give you 50 for that 42. All right, so we're going to collect. That's 3 collects. We are now 150, 160. So 132 was the original buy-in. We're now out of the hand and hopefully in profit, and hopefully keep on going. There is a 9, 639. 35 is going to pay 49 or 50 for 1. Dealer will ask you for a $1. There's 50. We're going to collect, and we're going to take 4 of those green chips and turn it into a black chip. All right, dice out. Hard 6. Keep on rolling. 42. That is going to pay 49 or 50 for 1. I don't have any more singles, so I'm going to get change. There's a 5, and I'll get $4 in change. And then the dealer will pay you 50. Same bet. I'm going to keep it out. Collect, collect, collect. We're actually past 3 collects, so we could start pressing and moving stuff around or regress, whatever you want to do. There's a 6-5 yo. I'm just going to leave it at that $50 level. There's another 6-5 yo. See a horn, bet a horn. And there's a see a horn, bet a horn, bet a horn. Aces. And a hard 10. All right, that is another $50. All right, at 25, we need a $1 vig to the dealer. And they will pay you 50 on that 25. Collect. There's 4 green for another black chip. Dice out. Like I said, you can move up and down, whatever you want to do. Right now, we're not going to do anything, but we did get into the profit. There's a 437 for that shooter, and that shooter is done. But we did make back a little bit of our money. And I think we still have time for some more shooters. Where are we at? 17-ish minutes. So let's see, what would you, got 308. Not bad. Not bad at all. At least we got some black chips back, but we're going to have to buy back in again here in a minute. Don't think we're at our 700 buy-in. Let's see, nothing here. We'll just take the 6, 4, 10. How about that? Dice out, looking for a point. There is a aces, spot and a dot. Craps number, 2 craps. There's a 549. Now it'll be our new point. And 132 out. Get rid of some of these red. It's 25, 30, and 2. Dealer, please place me 132 inside. There's the 100, and then we should have enough right here to cover these, and we do. And then we need to cap the 6 and the 8 off with a $1. So 30, 36, 36, and 30. Dice out. All of those pay 42. There's a 538. Like I just said, that is going to pay 42. What do we do with that first hit? Well, there's a couple of empty spaces, so we're going to fill them up. Dealer, please buy my 4 and 10 for 20 each. And we'll collect our $2. Any box number will do. Not box cars till midnight, but a box number. No. 437, and that shooter's done. So you can see this is really, again, it's kind of redundant, but any strategy is subject to the dice. But you can see as those 7s come out, because this requires a few more hits for you to get to profit. You know, you're kind of taking a big risk with a medium-ish bankroll, I guess. Like I said, we bought in for 700. A better buy-in would have been 13, 14, 1500. $2,000 if you got it. So now we are going to try to get another point set. I think we still got enough for another shooter or 2. There is a 639. 9 will be our new point. We're coming up on 20 minutes, so we should be okay on time. There's 1, 25, 30, and 2. Dealer placed me 132 inside. Not going to sing on here. I don't know why I did that. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 30, 35, 35, 30. And let's clean up our mess here. And then cap off our 6 and 8 to make it 36. And there we go. Inside number, please, shooter. There we go. Hard 6. 36 is going to pay 42. Had to think about it. Kind of using some different, different bets there. So kind of got to get used to that. There is $42. Dealer, I'd like to buy the 4 and 10 for 20 each. Done, son. Get $2 in change. We'll pay the vig on the wins at this casino. There is an ace deuce, 3 craps. Some casinos may make you pay the vig up front. There is a 5, 3, 8. 8 is 36. That's going to pay 42. We'll go ahead and pay it in red again because we're going to do that bump each number up by 1 unit. So that is a 5, a 6, 6, 5, and a 5. And then we get $10 back to our rack. There's 25. We'll put a green. There's 35, 42, 42, 35, and 25. We're going to place that with a green. Replace that with a green, rather. All right, so any box number, any box number, any box number. There we go. 9 will work. That's point, but that doesn't matter. We're still going to get paid. 35 is going to pay 49 or 50 for 1. The dealer will ask you to drop $1. Hopefully you make it into his hand or her hand, and we are going to collect. So now bets are off. You can work the come out if you want. I choose not to. There's a 6, 3, 9. We're right back on that 9. Had I worked the come out, we would have hit again. We've made 1 hit thus far. We need 2 more hits to be in the profit, but we're not going to get to it because there's a 6, 1, and we're done on that shooter. I think we got enough for 1 more. Let's try it. Can that one last shooter get us all the way back to our $700 buy-in? Never say never, but the way things are going, things are looking mighty slim. All right, let's get us another set of dice. The puck will go off. And there we go. There's a hard 8. We'll take that. And we're looking for a point coming out. 6, 4, 10. All right, that's a good number at least. Not that any bad numbers, but sometimes your rolls go a little bit longer. If it's one of the outside numbers, you don't hit a whole lot of points. There is 132. Dealer, please place me 132 inside. All right, we'll get that set up. I think we know what it is by now. 30 each, 36, and 30. So 30 each on the 5 and 9, 36 each on the 6 and 8. We'll clean up our mess here. There we go. And let's get it inside number, please, shooter. 325, that works. 30 is going to pay 42. Pay that in red. There's 40 and 2. Dealer, I'd like to buy my 4 and 10 for 20 each. There we go. $2 back to the rack. And now we need any box number. Any box number. There we go. 10 works. Hard 10. All right. Puck goes off. 20. We need $1 vig. And that's going to pay us 40. We'll go ahead and pay that out in red. There is 20. There's 30. Whoa, throwing chips around. There's 35. Go ahead and pay the rest out in singles, and that's 40. Press me up by 1 unit on each number. 6, 6, 5, and 5. All right, and we're going to collect 8. Back to the rack. There's 25 on that 4, 35 on the 5, 42 on the 6, 42 on the 8. 35 on the 9, and 25 on the 10. And there we go. Let's see if I can get this chip that fell. I believe I can. There we go. All right, dice are out. We're looking for a new point. 6, 3, 9. Nina is our new point. 325. All right, there we go. 35 is going to pay 49 or 50 for 1. The dealer asks you to drop $1. And we're going to collect. Same bet. Same bet from here on out, basically. There's a 639, that's point. But it is also a payment. 35 pays 49 or 50 for 1. Same bet we're collecting. There is 4 green for a black. And we're looking for a new point. Nice out. Bets are off. Not working. 639. Probably should work. Just to kind of, take advantage of each roll of the dice, but you never know. There's a 6-5, yo, 11. You got to hit the back wall, shooter. There's a 5-4-9 point hit. 35 once again. That's going to pay 49 or 50 for 1. And that is our 3rd hit. So we are now in the profit for that shooter. 1, 50, 55, 56. We originally put 132 inside. We're at 156 profit on this shooter. Bets are off. Coming out looking for a new point. Ace, deuce, 3 craps. No help. 5, 1, 6. 6 will be our new point. And any box number, please. 639. That works. 35 pays 49. Or say it with me, 50 for 1. There is $1 to the dealer. Dealer needs to keep his chips stacks. Needs to keep the chip stacks nicer. One of these days I'll get a rack. There's 50. All right, and then we now have 4 green again over there. We're up to 2 black chips, 205 profit for this shooter thus far. 314. That'll work. We're gonna have to get some singles. There is a 5. We need to pay $1 vig, so I'm gonna get $4 and change. And for that, they'll give you 50 for that $1. So that 25 pays 50. We're gonna collect. Again, we are in profit now. You can do anything you want. You can regress. You can move things around, go up. You can press up. There is a hard 10. Another 50 for 1. Dealer will ask you to drop $1. Well, not drop it on the ground. There we go. Drop $1, and we're going to go ahead and just collect. We're kind of behind. Yes, we could press up to increase our chances of catching up, but we'll just continue on the way we are and just collect, collect, collect. 426 or 2x4-6. Point hit. 42 pays 49 or 50 for 1. Collect. Please and thank you. All right, bets are off. Looking for a new point. Puck is off. Got to hit that back wall. I think we hit the side wall with one of them, so that's okay. 6-2-8. 8 will be our new point. You would think on a small table like this, I could hit the back wall, right? And 5-4-9. There we go. We got a good streak going here. 35 pays 49 or 50 for 1. Collect mode. Same bet, please, dealer. There is 4 green for a black. You can't necessarily exchange your chips like that during a roll. Whenever the puck is off, if you want to condense down, that's a good time to go ahead and take care of your excess chips if you'd like, and you can consolidate. 527. This shooter is through, and I believe we're going to be through for this particular video at least. Let's see where we're at. I'm not going to count those because that's not our money. We lost that. We'll see where we're at and decide if we're going to make a second episode at whatever we end up with, if there's enough. Don't know how we're going to be. Yeah, we're going to be short, obviously, but let's just see where we're at. If it's not too terrible, we may try it. So let's get a little condensing here. There's 5 red for a green. And that's it. That's all the condensing we get to do. 1, 2, 3, 400, 75, 85, and 86. 486 out of 700. That means we are 214 down. So basically almost like 2 shooters worth. 132 each for each shooter. That'd be 264 really. So we're down by 214. Yeah, let's go ahead and make a episode 2 on this particular strategy. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Obviously, it is a small bankroll. I understand that. You don't have to say, hey, Will, you should have bought in with more. Yes, I know. This is how it was explained to me. We're actually on a $10 table, so I guess it's okay. Whatever. You can do this at the $5, $10, $15 level. You could even do it at the $25 level. You're going to have to put 25 on the 4 and 10 whenever you buy those up. So you're gonna have to come out of your bank a little bit, or your rack. So that is the 50 for 1 strategy. I think that's what it was called. Yeah, 50 for 1. Yes, sorry, just checking my notes there. If you'd like to leave us an email, if you don't want to put anything down in the comments below, there is the email, crapstx@gmail.com. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. It's still humbling to see the number of views that we get and the comments and whatnot. And I really appreciate that. We're still trying to learn, a year in playing craps, and I am 60 years old, so I am still learning, teaching an old dog some new tricks and strategies. So if you got any strategies, put those down in the comments or in that email, and let me know what you'd like to see. We'll run this one more time, so we'll see you on the next video. I think this one will probably come out on a Monday, so the follow-up will be a Thursday on this one. So this is Craps TX. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please check out all the links down below. They should be self-explanatory. Just check it out. So before you go, hit that thumbs up for us. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Hit that bell for notifications. That way you'll be notified when the next video comes out. My name is Keith. This is Craps TX. I said that already, and we are out. We'll see you on the next one.